So hi, I am Dr. Deepak Agarwal. I am a neurosurgeon by profession, but I look after the commercialization also. And I think all of us know AIIMS, but most of us would not be visiting it for reasons which are there common across all government hospitals. And I think one thing is sure, if we had access, easy access, we would definitely want a second opinion, because that's one of the most unbiased opinions we get from anywhere in India. So we actually wanted to rebrand ourselves, although it's the most well-known brand out here. And we were thinking, how do we actually improve public relations? It's not my fault. So that was our concern, and we decided that although the demand-supply gap is huge, and we don't need more supply, we said that we need to actually reinvent ourselves, because that's the way the citizens would like to actually access the services. And so I made this presentation a little different on what we did, and that's one part I'm going to put across is the appointment system which we put in place. So if you look at the background, we have around 10,000 patients visiting AIIMS every day. That's a very huge number. And what happens, majority are very poor. But the most pertinent issue out here is that we get a very different kind of crowd. We get right from the Prime Minister to the poorest of the poor. So we have to cater to a population with different expectations, which may not be feasible. And both of them see the same doctor, may be admitted almost in the same ward. So we don't have a special ward for the Prime Minister or something. He comes, he sits in the private ward. So it's an incredible experience if you see, and how we manage it, it's a different thing. So what happens to the poor? Yes, the Prime Minister gets in very easily. But what happens to the poorest of the poor who come? They start going in from 3 a.m. in the night, and we have limited, obviously, number of people who can be seen. The rest again start going. So it's a never-ending process, and they are prone to all kinds of doubts and all kinds of problems. And so we wanted to eliminate all this, and that is why we said, why don't we have it put on a digital platform? And I'll come to how will it actually help them in a digital. So this is the presentation part. And we all know Alice in Wonderland. It's a fantasy tale. And as it began with Alice falling down the rabbit hole, actually this appointment system, the whole story started in 2013, when we had no appointments and we had only registration. And when this idea actually came, why don't we have a system like that? People said, why, you're crazy? You're already overwhelmed by the crowd. Why do you want somebody coming in with the appointment out here? So we persisted. We said, no, it's not that issue. It's the issue if somebody wants a second opinion, somebody wants to be seen, it could be the poorest of the poor, it could be the richest, they should have a mechanism in place. And finally we said, okay, this is a wish list. I'll just rush through the slides. We want a lot of things in it, and we approached, because being a government agency is very difficult to work with private agencies. So we work with NIC, and it's equally difficult, if not so, to work with any other government agency. And we told them that we want all this. So they said, no, it's a very difficult thing, and it requires a lot of effort, and we might not be able to do it. But we persisted, and we had a lot of wish list, and they said, okay, we'll try. So after a lot of going back and forth, they developed a module, but it was not what we wanted. So the problem was that we also didn't know what we wanted. It's something in the making. It was a dynamic thing. You don't have a background that this is the kind of thing we wanted. So it took us a lot of time, both the parties, to understand what was going on. And finally we created it. There were a lot of issues, and in the middle of 2014 we had, for follow-up patients, those who have already been seen, they could be again seen. In February 2015 we developed an Android app. We had an online appointment system for new patients also. In the same year we integrated with Aadhaar also for those who had an Aadhaar number, and suddenly things fell in place at certain time. And we have various means. We use social media a lot. The one question which is asked is, a lot of patients are illiterate, so how will they use the digital media or something? So we actually tendered and got a call center created through which people can phone up, and it acts as a middleware. So they actually can phone up and get an appointment through any, and it acts also as a human intelligence, because people might not know which department to come. They only have symptoms. So we have a huge number of things going on, and we have a lot of OPDs and clinics because 10,000 patients, obviously, every day they need to go to a lot of places. And this is the final, the impact factor. We have more than 2 crore appointments over less than a year over different means. And people are using a lot of stuff. So I've just enumerated the things out here and what they're using. And I think it has been a success story. And all of you can visit the AIIMS website, aims.edu, and book an appointment. So, although the process has not dramatically changed, because the process on the ground remains the same, but what happens to the person, the really poor patient who used to queue up on the every day, for them we have succeeded in cutting down the waiting time. So he has a confirmed appointment, he doesn't have to wait, he is not at the mercy of the touts, and the waiting time decreases to 3 hours instead of 6-7 hours which he gets.
So I'd like to hear more and more, but any questions?
How can
There
you
was one hand.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, I just want to ask one thing, that there are more people sitting outside than the people who are sitting inside. If you're digitally taking up some means to tackle the admissions, right? Tackle the patients. Don't you think some digital means should also be there to tackle the problem that has been sitting outside of the hospital? I mean, like, more people are there outside.
Yes, that's what we wanted to tackle, because we want to decrease the crowds outside. So we put in 2 things in place. One is that whenever we give a confirmation slip, we say only 1 relative will be allowed, because people used to come with their whole families, with their whole villages. You come in, and it was adding to the crowd. You have 1 patient, but you have 5 other people with him. So it increases the crowd management. So we said that we put in a strict policy that will allow only 1 person. So although the crowd may be outside, but you can only push a crowd as much further as you want outside the premises of AIIMS, then they are standing outside. So this is something which is a social nature of India. We cannot stop that, but in some ways we are doing it.
Is this also for Haryana?
Singapore.
Faridabad?
It is for all across the world. This is for world citizens.
No, for Faridabad AIIMS Center.
No, this is only for AIIMS only. But one thing which I want to answer is, India has one of the policies in place that we do not ask for your proof of identity or citizenship when you come to any country. That's a very incredible thing. So you can be from anywhere in the world, you will still get free treatment at AIIMS. This is any government hospital in India for that matter. So if you book an appointment from US or from Bangladesh or Pakistan, we have almost 5,000 plus visitors from abroad. And these are all surrounding countries, including Africa. So these are all patients getting treatment here, standing in lines, doing everything, because obviously the systems are not that good, or they think it's the brand.
Those other states you have AIIMS.
Those have not, they are not connected to us. They are all autonomous institutions in themselves, but they are getting linked to the same appointment system.
Thank you.